This is Dreamhouse Biodigesters. In this video, we are going to talk about 11 things that you need to know about biodigesters. Over the years, we have done videos that explains the technology of how biodigesters work. But in this one-stop shop video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the technology. The video has been done for two groups of people: installers and of course homeowners or prospective clients who are interested in this technology. If you're an installer, how are you going to explain how the technology works to your clients and then anybody who is interested in your services? And if you are a homeowner, you are interested in a biodigester, obviously you need to know, or you want to know, everything about how this technology actually works. So stay with me on this channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing. We have a website, dreamhousebiodigesters.com. You can go there, read some of our articles and see the types of biodigesters that we have for you. We are on both Instagram and Facebook at Dreamhouse Biodigesters. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below and ask any question that you do not understand. I will answer every question that you ask. This is Dreamhouse Biodigesters. Let's go into the video now. The first and most important fact you need to know about biodigester is what it is and what it does. We have said that biodigesters are simply on-site biodegradable toilet technology that break down solid waste for easy disposal in the environment. Now, we are used to traditional septic tanks and manholes over the years. With this technology, all you need to do is to get a big tank. The feces or the human solid waste and the water are all together. After sometimes it can be 6 months, it can be 1 year, if you're lucky it can be 2 or 3 or 4 years. A truck will need to show up in the house and come and take this solid waste into a place where it can be disposed of. Now we've come to realize that it was a big problem, and it's a big problem in our part of the world. So when the biodigesters came, then it became a game changer for all homeowners, because it was easy to dispose of the solid waste, there was no scent, and then the size that you need. So that is it. Fact 2. The history of biodigesters is not clear in Ghana, but what we do know is that they became prominent in 2014 during the famous cholera outbreak that killed over 100 people. During that time, the World Bank recommended this technology to us as a country to adopt, and ever since they've become the game changer in terms of human waste disposal in Ghana. I have a video exactly on history of biodigesters. I will give the link at the end of this video and then you can go check it out. This is Dreamhouse Biodigesters. If you are new here, consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I read every comment and I'll respond individually to each comment that you make. Another thing I need to explain about biodigesters is how do they work. Now, we have said that biodigesters basically is a biodegradable technology. So when we say how do they work, biodigesters simply work by having layers and then filtration system and then a soak hole. So human solid waste come on top of the digester through the flush units, and then there's rapid separation of the wastewater from the solid waste. Microorganisms break down the solid waste and then the water is diverted into the soak hole. That's the filtration system. Now the solid waste is left in the digester for microorganisms to break it down. After a couple of years, it can be easily disposed of, either for gardening purposes or easily disposed into the backyard of your house. Now with the new biodigesters in town, there's a filtration and there's porous, so everything breaks down permanently and turns into water that's easily disposed of through the soak hole. Biodigesters use soak hole. Normal septic tanks, we call them soak aways. With biodigester, you don't need a 4x4 5 feet depth with block constructed soak away. You need a soak hole, which can be a round circle shaped diameter, 3x4 depth, depending on the depth and the size of the biodigester. So if you have a 3 feet depth biodigester, all you need is a 5 feet depth soak hole, which can be done with rocks and smaller stones. Some people also use blocks to do the soak hole, and then they put a plastic sheet, a recycled plastic on it, and then you cover it with the top soil. People also are told to secure around their digesters, especially the soak hole, just to ensure that the wastewater that's going there is in a good shape and it does not affect the whole technology. So this is what we say when we say biodigesters are the best bet when it comes to human solid waste management. Fact 5 about biodigester is the disposal or the remains and how they are disposed of. We say biodigesters are disposed of in 2 different ways, depending on the materials that were used. If you use the wire mesh and the fiber net and organic soil, the time will come you will have to remove all these biodegradable materials and dump them under a garden, a plant, or simply dig a ground, about 2 feet ground, and bury it there. But with the biofuel biodigesters that use the porous, the water and the feces actually are broken together and then is dissolved into water. The human solid waste is dissolved into water after a period of time. That's with the biofuel biodigesters. So there are 2 different ways of disposing of solid waste depending on the type of biodigesters that is done by a constructor for you. In fact, this is the reason why people choose biodigesters over other waste management systems. Now, we have said biodigesters cost less to install, and of course they are not expensive as compared to traditional manholes and septic tanks. We also say they can be done in a day and are easily sited at the backyard of your house. So that's the reason why people are choosing biodigesters now, and they are becoming effective and they are helping homeowners have that needed peace of mind. Another fact about biodigesters that you need to know is that they are eco-friendly, environmentally safe products. What we mean by this is that when you do a biodigester, the microorganisms break down the solid waste in such a way that there is no scent and then there is no effect on your household in terms of the smell, the scent, and then the problems that come with using other septic systems. The biodigester works in such a way that microorganisms break down the solid waste and are easily disposed in the environment. This technology works by using eco-friendly materials like fiber, like wire mesh, and like porous systems that can be easily be gotten in the environment or in the locality in which you live. They are the same biodegradable stuff. The coconut husks and all these fibers are easily broken down into pieces and can be easily disposed of in the environment. Another fact about biodigesters is that you don't have to dislodge them, not physically with a truck. We do know that when you have a septic system, a time will come that you need to get the solid waste out of it, because septic tanks do not degrade human waste. So a time will come you need a truck to show up in the house and come and physically pull these feces from the house. Now with biodigesters, you don't physically dislodge. What we do and what we recommend is there is a regular maintenance that must be done. The lifespan of a biodigester can take as much as 30 years, depending on the user's lifestyle and the amount of people who are also using the digesters. Now what we say is that you must do a regular maintenance when you choose a biodigester, which means that every 3 or 4 or 5 years, those non-biodegradable stuffs that might have gotten stuck in the digester, Pampers, baby diapers, yes, some people put those things in the digester, or even condoms, will have to be physically removed because they are not organic materials that the technology can biodegrade. So those ones have to be physically removed, and that's when the maintenance is done and the biodigester bed is replaced with new materials for you to keep using the technology safely. So we do not physically dislodge biodigesters, but we do regular maintenance for biodigesters. Another fact about biodigesters is that your groundwater is not affected. What do we mean when we say this? You see, biodigesters, the depth of a biodigester is 3 feet, maximum 4 feet depending on the size. Now when you get your 3 feet, it means your soak hole must go 5 feet, extra 2 feet in between. Let's say you have a borehole in the house. Boreholes takes at least 20 feet to dig. Some with the new mechanized boreholes is about 200 feet. So biodigesters basically work on the surface of the earth, where the wastewater is just distributed around the surface of the earth. So we do tell people, when you do a biodigester, where the soak hole is done is where you grow your green grass or you secure the area, and the water, your groundwater or your water, is not affected. The building itself is not affected by the amount of water that's coming from the soak hole, because it's filtered gently and slowly on the surface of the ground. Another most important fact about biodigesters you need to know is that they have governmental approval and international backing. The history of biodigester shows that it was the World Bank that actually recommended that we implement or we adopt such a technology. So biodigesters that are being constructed in Ghana now have the assemblies backing them. In fact, the assemblies are implementing some parts of the government policies where local houses or low-income houses are supposed to get reduced prices on biodigesters that they install. So the assemblies are physically involved in the installation of the biodigesters in Ghana, or in Accra, particularly in some parts of the municipalities in both Accra and Kumasi and Tamale. So biodigesters do have governmental approval, they have international backing, and they are being supervised by the local assemblies in Ghana. They also have environmental approval, that's the EPA, environmental agencies approval. Biodigesters also have Environmental Protection Agency's approval. In Ghana, the Environmental Protection Agency, that's the EPA, also gives approval for biodigester construction through the approving of the effluent level, that's the water that's coming from the digester, and making sure it's tested and it's fit to go into the environment or to go into the ground. In some communities, biodigesters are allowed to be dropped in gutters because they cannot do a soak away. Environmental agency, that's the EPA, approves of such disposal of wastewater in the gutters in some parts of the community. What you must do as an installer in this situation is to get bottle, go and fetch the wastewater that's coming from the house, take it to the Water Research Institute and have the effluent level tested for you. This can be given to the homeowner to keep in the house in case there's a problem. They can show that the water or the wastewater they are disposing into the environment is safe for that purpose. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. This is Dream House Biodigesters. Until next time, thank you once again. Bye bye.